A lot of questions for you, but I'm going to limit it to maybe one or two more because I know your time is valuable. You guys are gearing up for the C.I.A.A. Cross Country Championships this Thursday in Salem, Virginia. I know you're very excited to get both your men and your women's cross country squads out there. What are you doing to prepare for that event?
We're trying to get them prepared, mainly mentally. We did a lot of the groundwork, giving them hills and all of that in the early season. Right now, it's just a mental game. I'm fortunate to have a team that's predominantly freshmen. I think on the women's side, I probably, out of the 7 young ladies, 3 of them are juniors, 1 senior. And on the men's side, I think I have 1 junior, and everybody else outside of that is freshmen. So for me right now, it's just to get them ready for the mental game, let them understand that a lot of these meets, some of the people seemed out of reach. Now we're going to a level playground where everybody, is doing the same thing we're doing. So to get them in that mindset that, look, this is it. This is what we've been training for. Is either you're in, you're out, or, is this what you want to do? So right now, we just focus on the mental because I tell people it's 90% mental and 10% physical because some of them have psyched themselves out prior to some of the races this season, but we've been doing great to improve over the season, so we just want to do that final improvement here at the championship.
Coach, I know you guys are going to do well. I know you're going to do great. You're going to represent Shaw to the best of your ability. So I got one more question before I let you go. Now, if you're a prospective student athlete trying to make the transition from high school to college, what advice can you give them both academically as well as athletically that will help them to better transition from that high school to that collegiate level?
One of the things I always try to remind my student athletes, the freshmen especially, is that high school was for fun, college is a business. Not saying that, you're getting paid or anything, but, it's a business. Your whole approach has to be different. Yes, I'm understanding, but I'm only understanding to a certain level because now is when you're starting to make those life decisions. I tell them all the time, you apply for a job, you put on it that you're on the track team. Sometimes those jobs call that track coach to see what kind of person you were. So I tell them, look, I'm the biggest example of I did this to pay for school, so I get it school first, but do not use school as the excuse to why you can't get it done because I went all the way to a master's with athletics paying for it. So I get it. It gets tough. It gets hard. You don't have mommy saying, oh, did you remember to do your homework? It's a whole different playing field. It's time for responsibility, time to hold yourself accountable. So let's listen to the people that are there to help you and stop trying to solve everything yourself. Sometimes, talk to us coaches. We've been athletes. So I just tell them, you have to come with a different mindset when you're coming to college. High school's for fun. College is a business.
We have been talking to a tough-minded Nadia Alexander Pompey. Coach, thank you so much for joining the Shaw Report. Again, Coach, good luck. Represent Shaw well in the cross-country championships for the C.I.A.A. this Thursday, October 26th in Salem, Virginia at Green Hill Park. Coach Pompey, thank you, and hopefully we can get you on the show some other time. It's been great.
Thank you, and go Bears.
Summit Hospitality is a proud sponsor of Shaw University Athletics. With 6 Marriott-branded hotels in the Raleigh area, Summit Hospitality can manage all of your lodging needs. Make your reservations for your family or a group by calling 919-669-0576 and let them know that Shaw University Athletics sent you. Again, that's Summit Hospitality, 919-669-0576. This is the Shaw Report with Damian Banks. Welcome back to the Shaw Report. Again, I'm Damian Banks. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at SportsByDamian. That's SportsByDamion. And Shaw U is also on social media at Shaw Bears on Twitter, at SU_Bears on Instagram, and on Facebook, like us, facebook.com/Shaw Bears. Now, the Bears scoreboard. We're going to start with volleyball as head coach Goree's squad was in Wilson, North Carolina, competing against Mount Olive and Barton College in a tri-match this past Saturday. The Lady Bears knocked off Mount Olive 3-0, 25-20, 25-21, and 26-24, led by Kavisha Watley's 24 kills. In their next match, Shaw fell to host Barton 1-3. On Monday, the Bears were in action on the road at Johnson C. Smith. Easy money for the Lady Bears, winning 3-0, 25-11, 25-20, and 25-17. Next, the Lady Bears are in action on Halloween night, October 31st at Winston-Salem State. Moving on to women's soccer, head coach Luis Cortell's Lady Bears were on the road facing C.I.A.A. opponent C.I.A.A. in Murfreesboro, North Carolina. Shaw was limited to just 3 shots on goal for the entire match and fell 3-0 to the Hawks. The Lady Bears are now 3-9 on the season. They'll next hit the pitch this Thursday at Brevard. That match is set for 6 p.m. Now, both men's and women's tennis participated in Barton College Tennis Invite last weekend. Marilyn Kamenge won the women's singles B 6-3, 6-4 over teammate Simbiat Alim. Carmen Maricon had a runner-up finish in the women's A singles 6-1, 6-1 to Barton's Daria Avram. On the men's side, Nkamza Munkamboy made it to the men's single A final, and he had to retire due to injury. But Daniel Ock placed second in the men's B singles, falling 6-4, 6-2 to Alessandro Garbina of Barton. The season officially starts for the women February 11th at Liberty. The season officially starts for the men March 5th at Barton. And don't forget, women's cross-country and men's cross-country championships is this Thursday in Salem, Virginia. Go to shawbears.com for all the details. Also, the Shaw men's hoops team released their schedule, and the Shaw women's team released their schedule. You can find those schedules for Coach Joel Hopkins and Coach Jaquez Curtis's squads on shawbears.com as well. And now, the C.I.A.A. scoreboard. We start with the 21st ranked Virginia State University Trojans. They were on the road taking on Lincoln University. The conference's leading rusher Trenton Cannon ran for 253 yards on just 9 carries, including 5 touchdowns, as Virginia State came away with a 73-21 win. The Trojans improved to 7-0 overall, 5-0 in conference play. Lincoln falls to 0-8 overall, 0-5 in conference play. Next in the North, we travel to Murfreesboro, North Carolina, where Chowan University welcomed Elizabeth City State for homecoming. Bryce Witt threw for 313 yards. Torrey Baker had 185 yards receiving, including 3 touchdowns, and Chowan came away with a 28-18 win. Chowan improved to 3-5 overall, 2-2 in conference play. Elizabeth City State falls to 4-4 overall, 2-2 in conference play. Next up in the North, the Bowie State Bulldogs, ranked 23rd in the latest Division II poll, welcomed Virginia Union University to Bowie, Maryland. Bowie State jumped out to a 20-0 lead, led by quarterback Amir Hall's 386 yards and 3 touchdowns, as they knocked off Virginia Union by the 40-22 score. Bowie State improves to 7-1 overall, 4-1 in conference play. Virginia Union falls to 5-3 overall and 4-1 in the Northern Division. Moving on to the Southern Division, the Livingstone Blue Bears welcome Winston-Salem State University to Salisbury, North Carolina. The Rams rushed for 308 yards as a team, led by Kerryon Morris, 110 yards and a touchdown, and Winston-Salem State knocked off Livingstone by the 42-14 score. Winston-Salem State improves to 5-3 overall, 3-2 in the Southern Division, and Livingstone College falls to 0-8 overall, 0-5 in the Southern Division. Also in the South, Fayetteville State was having homecoming. Stevie Green ran for 176 yards and 2 touchdowns, and Fayetteville State had a happy homecoming, knocking off visiting St. Aug's 34-31. Fayetteville State improves to 4-4 overall, 3-2 in the Southern Division. St. Aug's falls to 3-5 overall and 3-2 in the Southern Division. And lastly, again, your Shaw Bears lost by the slimmest of margins at Johnson C. Smith. It was homecoming for Johnson C. Smith by the 10-13 score. The Shaw Bears, they are doing great things. Coach Jones is building. He's building, ladies and gentlemen. Don't give up on Coach Jones. He's just in his 2nd season, so I would hope that you aren't giving up on the Shaw Bears right now. I attend all of the home games, try to get to some of the road games, but the home game atmosphere is great. The food is great. The band is lit. You need to come out to Durham County Memorial Stadium, support the Shaw Bears. I know Shaw is located in Raleigh, but they have a lot of alumni in Durham, and they play their home games in Durham. And if you don't know where Durham County Alumni Memorial Stadium is, just look up Duke Regional Hospital, and the stadium is pretty much attached to the hospital, so you can't miss it. Every home game, you can enjoy chicken, you can enjoy fish from Buckley's. You can enjoy a great game day atmosphere. The band is cranking. Coach Jones has the guys looking good in their uniforms. They're going to get this thing turned around. It's just year 2. I mean, let's face it. Shaw had a bad couple of seasons. Last season, they only won 2 games. This year, they've already won 3 games with about 4 games left to go. So I see nothing but positive things in the future for Shaw University. Don't give up on them. They won't give up on you. Again, man, don't let anybody tell you no, and if the door is locked, dig a hole underneath the building and crawl your way in. This has been another fantastic episode of the Shaw Report. I am Damian Banks. You can go to shawbears.com to find this podcast, download any other sports-related content regarding the Shaw University Bears. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Sports by Damian. That's SPORTSBYDAIMEON. You can follow the Shaw Bears on Instagram, SU_Bears, and on Twitter at Shaw Bears. This is the Shaw Report. I am Damian Banks. Got 2 words for you people. I'm gone.
Make sure you wipe your feet at the door. 109 Cushman Street, Durham, North Carolina. Make a right on Wedge, then a left on Walt, and in the middle is where you find us. That's Durham 3. Past the Gooches, Mac Nails, and the Coleman's. Miss Elaine taking clothes off the line. It's time to fold. Fold them clothes, boy. Pop sitting in his folding chair, underneath the tree working on a lawnmower. Hand me a flathead, boy. Said your work just getting started, boys. Listen up. It's too early for an encore. Come on. Mama tatted on my arm, sipping on the other one. Really though, liquor store flow like I'm 21. I'm younger than many, but I got the older soul. They say I'm hard to decipher, I'm so Morris code. We just trying.